All right. So today I'm going to be talking about Eagle. Eagle is, of course, as you know, a digital asset management program for Windows and Mac. It's currently $35 for one lifetime license, and that license can be used to install it on two devices simultaneously. You can deactivate a device, activate a brand new device, however many times you want. No subscription model, no upgrade costs currently either. Initially, it's on version 4 right now. Version 5 was supposed to be out um, quarter 1 of this year. Has not happened. In fact, the company's been pretty quiet. The version was supposed to mainly have some first-party AI tools to allow you to organize your music, image graphics, video files, whatever it is you're storing on your computer. I use Eagle for a ton of stuff. I absolutely love it. It's local first. It doesn't put your assets or anything into some proprietary database. It's all on your computer, um, using special, organizational tools you can have through the application. Now, what has happened? Well, those AI tools came out as plugins early in the year, completely passed me by. But Eagle put out a blog post kind of explaining what's going on with the program, version 5, where did it go, what's happening with it, and all that. So I'm going to very, very briefly go over this. Now, this blog post was initially like a week ago, but you can see the date up here is the 11th. I'm going to get specifically to what happened to make them do this little edit to their blog post. I found out about this little update from the r/EagleCool subreddit, eagle.cool being the website URL. So, Eagle v5 is in development, what we've been building. Is Eagle still being developed? The answer is yes. Eagle 4 is still being maintained. We continue to maintain and work on stability, compatibility, and issues that affect everyday use. Some ideas that were originally explored as part of v5 have also already made their way back into v4 through plugins. AI search, AI actions, Eagle skills, and Eagle MCP are examples of this. Instead of keeping these capabilities behind a future major release, we try to make them available to existing users earlier whenever possible. Okay, let's scoot on over. Essentially, it is moving towards the version 5 is going to be kind of a big upgrade. They've said it's not going to be as easy as just installing the new version and then going on about your day. It's going to take some effort on your part to migrate your stuff from v4 to v5. So why is this? Well, it's completely rebuilt. They explain that the way people use their assets is, very different now from when it was in 2017, almost 10 years ago when it first came out. And essentially, it's going to move to kind of a server-client architecture in the way that, like, Plex uses your local media on a server, and you can access it through the regular Plex app, through some third-party apps and stuff like that, on separate computers, but it's still your stuff that's stored on your computer somewhere in your home, right? So your computer is the host. There is server architecture running on there, looking at your assets and cataloging everything, and clients like the desktop client that they're going to continue to create will basically connect to it potentially from other computers on your network, right? So it doesn't have to be one person using it locally. So mainly we get the v5 architecture we're building does not require your library to be moved into an Eagle-operated cloud. They are not becoming a cloud service. This is not an Adobe style subscription move, nothing like that. It's gonna, untangle the program into multiple pieces that can be, upgraded independently and kind of removed and added as you need it. So most users don't need to think of that computer as let's go up here. So By default, your assets can remain on your own computer or storage devices, while the core part of Eagle that manages the library can run directly on that machine. Most users don't need to think of that computer as a server at all. You can simply continue opening Eagle and using it as you do today. The difference is that, if you want to, the same library can eventually be accessed in more flexible ways. So, if you look at all the bold parts here, none of this requires you to upload your library into cloud storage provided by Eagle. V5 will need an account system. The reason is straightforward. If more than one person or device can access the same library, Eagle needs to know who is using it and what that person is allowed to see or change. So having an Eagle account means your assets... This does not mean having an Eagle account means your assets must be stored in Eagle's cloud. And then this is the part that they added, that they had to edit the blog post for, because the subreddit thread was all about, even though not a single mention of moving to a subscription, no mention of a subscription at all. It was all just, here is why V5 is taking so long. This is the reasoning. This is what we are working towards. And everyone was just like, this better not be a subscription. Bro, calm down. Yell at people and yell at companies when they do something, but they hadn't done anything. All they did was write a blog post excitedly telling people what they're working on. They edited this and added this yesterday. This is not a move towards subscription. Accounts, multiple devices, and a substantially new architecture can also raise another concern. Does this mean Eagle is preparing to become a subscription product? That is not what we're building. V5 is not being designed around a subscription service, and moving Eagle towards a subscription model is not the direction we prefer. Here's a little test library, 231 assets up there. So the last Eagle video I did, I talked about AI Auto Tagger, which is this guy right here. It's basically lets you use various AI models, local or otherwise, to run rules against your assets. It's very nice. I did a little mini walkthrough of it previously. As you can see, I've got it set up so I've got basically like different levels. Here's all the default ones that I don't really use very much. But then I've got everything except for final exports and final exports only. So final exports, like, this is the finished product I'm going to upload into YouTube, or finished, page design I'm going to be printing out, whatever. If it's not a, finished end product like that, then I run it through this. And then I've got some more specific ones down here that I might run it through after the fact. I did a little video. Go watch that one. I'll link to it below if you want to go watch that one. So that's a third-party plugin. Very nice plugin. But now they've released their own AI plugin. So that one is called AI Action. So when you install AI Action, let me open up the plugin center and show you. So if you scroll down, you'll see there's AI Action, AI Search, and a couple other ones. MCP server and stuff. But where is AI Models? So AI Models is a plugin by Eagle that basically, in order to use the AI Action, you have to set this one up too. You install this, and then basically in the actual settings of Eagle, not in the plugin section, if we go up to the little menu there and we go Preferences, there's going to be an AI Models section. And what this does basically is it lets you put in your API keys or other credentials for these services, or link it to a local model you've got running on your own network. And this is what the AI Action plugin uses to connect to those models, so of those AI providers. And so what they want people to do is to build on top of this, so that as AI is even more, different things that are AI driven are more available, people can set up their stuff and manage it in one plugin, and that other third-party or first-party plugins that use AI will like funnel through this. But if we open up AI Action, I've already made one action right here. Let's go New Action, and let's just like kind of look at what we've got. So if we click Add Step here in the upper right, can we make this bigger for you? Not really. We've got, these are all the steps that you can do. So we've got Clear Info, Rename, add description, add tags, add to folders, or set rating. So there's not much explanation in the actual plugin itself. They do have a blog post that kind of goes over best practices and like that, but it's not really in the app itself. Clear Info has a bunch of checkboxes, description, folders, rating, links, tags. So you can highlight a bunch of things, run this, and you can kind of make a blank slate, as it were. We also have rename, and all the other ones, aside from Clear Info, they're going to have an AI and a manual little section here. So AI is done by default. If we select one of the models, it's loading. If we go manual, then we can type in explicitly a new name, and then it will just do numbering. And you can tell it to use all capitals, all lowercase, or upper case for the first letter of each word. So we've got GPT-5 selected right now. We can see we've got a text box here. And it's all going to be like this. There's really no options aside from just text boxes. So each of them will say include image metadata, include EXIF data. So if you want to allow this instruction to run with access to that information, you can do that. And you just type in what you want it to do. So this is under the rename rule. So whatever you type in here is going to be used for the model to wipe whatever file name is in there and rewrite it. So you just have to describe what you want. And it's pretty much the same for all of them. If we go to add description, it's the same exact thing, and again, you've got the manual option if you want to just type specifically what you want added. Or the AI one, you can just have it describe how you want them to add information to that description, and they'll do it as best they can. And you might be able to notice that, like, as we add more, when you click next step or add step, it gets smaller and smaller because you can only each rule or like each action can only have one of each type of rule. It's like if you want to really do a robust description setup with like maybe multiple sections or something, you kind of have to do different actions. And so it's not fully like all automated because you might have to run something and then you might have to run another thing again on all those same assets just because you don't have what you're trying to do is a little bit more complex than what I guess they're intending you to do. Let's look at the add tags one because this one's kind of interesting. We have a couple extra options. So one, we've got a drop down where we can tell it how many tags should be the limit. So once something gets up to 5 tags, if that's what's selected, it won't add more than that. And this just says max tag count. So if there's already things on already tags on the asset, unless you cleared them before, it won't add anymore. It will just add up to that, but it won't perform an action that will increase the amount of tags. And then we've got tag source, which is restrict to existing. AI will only select from existing tags and won't create new ones. Please provide detailed names and descriptions for each tag group to help AI understand and tag accurately. For details, refer to this article. Or allow new. Use this feature with caution. AI-generated tags may create synonyms or unconventional names affecting search efficiency. So if you already have a nice, robust tag setup that you like, that's probably best, and then you just kind of describe how each grouping of tags should be used, and it'll try its best. Discard. So in this little thing, I've already played around with this a little bit. And I'm going to show you some things that I tagged with AI Auto Tagger and some things I tagged with this first party one. Let's see. So this was one that I did with AI Auto Tagger. Right, so this one we've got the original name, then it says description, and underneath that, a low-resolution screenshot from a studio talk show set showing 3 adults seated in a row, blah, 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 blah. The background is a staged interior, a red brick wall with built-in wooden bookcases, so, like, pretty in-depth. And then it'll even say, like, text that's in there will describe it, so pretty easily anything that's on screen like that will be represented in the description, so it's super easy to kind of search for things. Now, this was done with AI Auto Tagger. Very nice. Let me show you one that was done without AI Auto Tagger. In fact, this is done with the AI action that I just showed you. Oh, actually, I haven't showed you yet, so let me show you. Without, like, some of the tagging and stuff, this is a very simple thing, basically. It's going to add the description, and because you can only do one description rule in each AI action, my description rule is kind of, just kind of all-encompassing. So, I want multiple sections of information, each clearly labeled. I'm going to give you the label to use, and then describe how I want you to follow it. Original title. Put the title of the file here. Description. Put a text description of the file here. Describe colors, items, people, products or merchandise, packaging or interface elements, etc. Describe style, lighting, vibe of the file if possible. Text. If there's text in the file, put the exact text here. If you need to use a list with the descriptor of where/how the text is used, you may. And then metadata/exif. In an unordered list, put all information from the file with regards to camera use, settings, dates, resolution, etc. This does not have to be exhaustive. And then, after that, rename the file using the format date-description. Date should be either the creation date of the file or the date the file is imported to the library. Always prefer the creation date when available. Description should be a brief description of the file in broad terms. If there is prominent text, that should be included. Avoid using symbols or other characters that commonly cause issues in Windows. So, this is what I got here. It's a little picture of a screenshot of like a Lego website from 1,000 years ago. Original title, alright, boom. And then description, pretty nice description, right? A screenshot of an early 2000s Lego website page. Shows a gray rounded rectangle. Central banner promotes shop at home holiday favorites with a snowy logo, window scene, blah, blah, blah. Text, a lot of the text is get tons of text here, right? Metadata, a little vague. Like we get some stuff, but I mean, not that there's really any useful information for like an old screenshot, right? That's more for like, pictures I take myself, but now let's look at another one that was done by AI Auto Action, and that is this little picture up here of the brain in a jar. It's very lovely. So I ran AI Action on this guy, and this is what Eagles 1 did. 1987-01-01, brain in glass jar with eerie blue lighting. No dash between the date and the description, even though I explicitly said do a dash in between them. And it says, a human brain suspended in liquid inside a glass jar is shown in a dim, foggy room, lit with eerie blue and purple cinematic lighting that gives the scene a retro horror or sci-fi laboratory feel. So that's it. 2 sentences was all it gave this one. And it does not even have a heading for the description. It did not keep the original file name, so you can't tell that this is a screenshot from the movie Blood Diner, the classic 87 hit Blood Diner. Yeah, and in fact, I ran it on a bunch of stuff, and a lot of the times, more than half of the time, I think I ran it on like 10 items, more than half of the time, it didn't even follow instructions like at all for the description. So I don't know if that's just a case of it being like a little bit too much and you have to split it out and just deal with multiple actions or what. But let's go ahead and let's do one of these swords. We'll do this sword right here, right? So I'm going to right click, I'm going to go plugin, I'm going to go AI action right here. I'm going to select retitle assets. I'm going to select run. And it's doing its thing, One thing I do like about this is as it's running, it'll give you like a change log right here, right? So it's got the original title and that's crossed out, and then it tells you what it's replacing it with. If there had been something in the description box, it would have been the same too. So that's nice, and so you can do undo changes or you can do done. So you have the option to go back right away, which is super nice. So as we can see, we get no original file name, we get nothing about even no headings, nothing, right? It's super simple. A stylized fancy sword game icon shows a silver blade with light edge wear and a prominent purple wrapped hilt accented by a gold guard, blah, blah, blah. So that's nice, that's not bad. I'm going to right click that same icon, go to plugin, go to AI auto tagger. This obviously does a lot more in one go, but we're just going to compare the description. Okay, so as you can see, we now have Fantasy Sword 10 Dash, purple grip gold hilt sword illustration. Original name, Fantasy Sword 10. Description, a stylized digital illustration of a fantasy sword shown diagonally across the frame against a dark smoky background. So it's just a bit nicer, right? Let's go ahead, I'm gonna do, on the AI Action Eagle plugin, and we're just gonna see, do we get like the original title preserved in any of them. And run. No, and as you can see, like, we've got two that the description is fantasy sword icon with ornate silver hilt, fantasy sword with engraved silver guard and brown grip. And then on these other two, we've got a stylized game icon, shows a close-up of a cartoon sword with a broad hit, slightly glossy finish, suitable for fantasy RPG interfaces, mobile games, inventory UI elements. Like, these are not, like, super verbose, descriptions, but they don't have to be. They do not have to be usable descriptions to find items. They don't have to be big, chunky, 6, 7, 8 sentence things. They can be 1 or 2 sentences, but fantasy sword icon with ornate silver hilt. So that's just a quick little look at the first-party Eagle-developed plugin AI Action. It's kind of okay. I think if you don't need too much, this is a super simple way to just get some basic organization going. I think actually probably for most people, it's probably okay. If you do have complex stuff that you want to do, though, you're gonna really need to probably do multiple actions for even like a single batch of items. You can't chain similar roles in the same action and stuff like that. It's okay. I think it's probably too AI driven. We do need some probably some options to toggle on and off to kind of provide restrictions without having to in plain English describe restrictions that we want to give it. I don't know, but there you go. I prefer AI Auto Tagger quite a lot right now, but hopefully they'll get better. Hopefully, as we move towards this new version of Eagle 5, we will get overall improvements to not just the first-party stuff, but all the third-party plugin developers will have more to work with. And I'm excited. I'm very excited. So, can't wait. Eagle.cool. $35 for one license for 2 devices, lifetime. I don't know if V5 is going to be a paid upgrade or not. They've not said anything about that. And they seem gung-ho on this one lifetime purchase. So maybe pick it up now if you're interested, because the price might go up. But if you grab a license, you're probably fine for when V5 does hit. So go check that out. Have some fun.